Thank you very much. I'm Steve Barnett. I'm happy to spend a few minutes with you to tell you about some of the products that have application in art conservation. On the lower left side of this slide and every slide is a web page that has information related to what I'll be speaking about, as well as a copy of this presentation. We are based in Northern California and have over 30 years of experience in spectroscopic methods of analysis, as well as in various microscopy and micromanipulation techniques. We do some consulting and some training, and also do a fair bit of work acting as a sales representative or distributor for some of the products and companies that we work with. The first product I'd like to tell you about is the Microscope Axis Pro benchtop micromanipulator. This system allows for sampling on a very small scale, often smaller than the naked eye, which enables removing material that can then be used for FTIR, Raman, or XRF analysis. It's a micromanipulator with XYZ motion on a stage and 2 arms, and software control to allow you to precisely control the arms for the microsampling. This can also be used in some micro restoration applications. A variation on the Axis Pro is the Quick Pro, which allows you to perform the same types of micro manipulations based off of a single arm or 2 arms. The Quick Pro can be mounted onto an articulating arm and perform micro sampling or micro restoration on larger works of art or on statues or other works where they cannot be positioned under the microscope of the Axis Pro. Here you see a 20 micron section of material being removed from the work of art for characterization by FTIR, Raman, or XRF. The Axis Pro has a number of tools that allow you to perform this type of removal in a simple manner without damaging the surrounding area. The Axis Pro also has a micro tweezer accessory that can be used to remove a single fiber from within a fiber bundle. Here you see a single fiber with a 19 micron diameter being removed from a cluster of fibers. This can be used on textiles or other types of samples that have fibrous material that are bound together. As I mentioned, these techniques can also be used for micro restoration on high value works of art. This example illustrates Milling Pro. This has a horizontal tungsten carbide blade, typically about 100 microns wide, where a hypersonic vibration is introduced into the tool. This allows you to smoothly remove surface layers without damaging the layers underneath. This can be used to remove corrosion from the upper layers or to remove outer paint layers to reveal lower layers that are observable and that may have been painted over by an artist. Microscope also builds systems that facilitate viewing of large works of art for use in restoration, as well as a system to hold a handheld XRF that facilitate elemental characterization of a point within a work of art. Here you can see a close-up of the handheld XRF device performing elemental analysis on this work of art. Microscope has also been asked to build larger viewing systems that hold a microscope over a large painting for use in restoration applications. An example of a typical drawing from a design is shown here. Thus, with the restoration applications as well as the ability to perform microsampling, Microscope offers a number of solutions for the art conservation field. Another interesting application comes from the use of this Ostec XRF microscope, which provides X-ray fluorescence mapping capabilities to illustrate the distribution of elements from sodium up to uranium with 30 micron spatial resolution. This can be used for analysis and also to guide restoration. One interesting application of the XRF microscope is in characterizing this ornament from a medieval horse harness. This ornament dates from somewhere between the 10th and 13th century AD and had significant corrosion, which made characterization fairly difficult. In looking at the distribution of various elements in this ornament, you can see that iron and manganese are distributed fairly uniformly. This may be prevalent more in the corrosion layer than in the ornament itself. At the bottom, you can see the distribution of silver that shows some sort of a pattern that is not observable when looking at the corroded ornament. In looking at the distribution of other elements, copper and gold represent the upper two images here. These two elements are co-located in some areas, but there are other areas which tend to have more copper or more gold. In the bottom images, the bottom left is an image of the calcium composition, and the bottom right is the image of the strontium composition. In looking at the ornament after some restoration has taken place, you can see the left side of the upper image has a pattern that is present in the ornament. When you compare that to the distribution of silver that is in the lower image, it is clear that that patterned area has a significant silver content. Thank you very much for the time. I've spoken a bit about the use of micromanipulation for restoration, as well as to isolate small fragments for FTIR, Raman, and XRF analysis. I've also spoken about a micro XRF. We do offer as well handheld Raman and Raman microscopes that may be of application in conservation. The web page shown here contains a lot of this information, and you can also feel free to contact us at the phone number and the email address that is shown here. Thank you again for your time.